Yesterday, you hated Bleacher Report's top quarterback list. Everybody did. But Warren Sharp, he's been on the show. Good dude. He listed the most clutch quarterbacks dating back to 2020 based on estimated points added per dropback. So it's very stat heavy. The most clutch quarterbacks in the league going back to 2020, Joe Burrow, number 1, followed by Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady makes that list despite not playing as many years.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock is 13. Now, here's the thing. There is, you have to qualify by having 50 attempts. So, for instance, Brock Purdy's not on this list because he doesn't have as many attempts.
He doesn't have that many attempts.
Yeah, Purdy did not qualify due to the numbers that Warren Sharp's using here. Your boy,
yeah, there's a
Geno
lot of guys
Smith.
here. Sorry. I'll take the top 5. Everything else just doesn't work for me. I know what I see.
You're more of an eye test than
Matt Stafford, Geno Smith. Who you taking? $140 left, 1 timeout, 68 yards to go.
I will take Matthew Stafford.
Okay, there you go. Nothing against Geno, but who you taking? Matt Stafford or Dak Prescott? Who you taking? Yeah. Come on.
So Kyler Murray checked in at number 24. Not clutch. Trevor Lawrence, 30. Jalen Hurts, 37. Now, to defend Hurts, they win a lot of blowouts, so there aren't many close games for him. A guy who will be on the list next year, who just missed because he doesn't have enough qualifications, Jaden Daniels. Boy, he was amazing in clutch time last year with Washington. They won almost all their close games.
Well, he didn't have enough.
He doesn't have enough attempts because he was a rookie. Dak Prescott's a bit of a surprise.
If I said to you right now, give me the 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, $140, 1 timeout, on the road, need a touchdown. Give me the 3 quarterbacks you'd take. Because they pop right into my head.
No order. Burrow, Allen, Mahomes.
I would have Stafford at 3A. Because you get the coach. Coach counts.
I mean, Lamar should be in there because he's so mobile.
And I love Lamar, but I would say I would do the same. I would do Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen. Josh can beat you so many ways.
Yeah.
But I would have Stafford real close to it because you get the coach. You get Andy Reid and Mahomes. You get McKay and him. Now, I think Stafford late in games is magical, and a lot of it's just he's been doing it so long you can't fool him. He's seen every coverage and every blitz.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. What I really want to focus on is Joe Burrow, number 1, because Joe Burrow recently has been getting kind of extra hate. And I just made a video actually before where people were kind of debating Joe Burrow should be considered top 5 over Jalen Hurts. And I made a whole argument about Jalen Hurts being downplayed. Not so much I think that Joe Burrow shouldn't be up there. But Joe Burrow is such a ridiculously great quarterback who's just on, quite frankly, a disaster of a team who happens to have a couple great wide receivers. But I mean, like, it's really actually ridiculous just how good Joe Burrow is. So when we look at Joe Burrow's stats, just under pressure, because recently we've all been talking about pressure so much because of what happened with the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes and the O-line, et cetera, et cetera. And so I really then wanted to look at some of these quarterbacks strictly under pressure, since that seems to be such a thing that obviously matters. And it's kind of crazy. You have Joe Burrow, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This is all under pressure. Nearly 8 yards per attempt, 1,438 yards. The highest rating for passing, 75.6. And then a completion percentage of 58.5. I mean, it's pretty insane how good he is dealing under pressure. And he is an elite passer. Is he as mobile as a Lamar Jackson, as a Josh Allen? Absolutely not. But in terms of his ability to pass the ball, see the field, and make the throws, I mean, it's probably second to no one in the NFL right now. He has 88 first downs under pressure. The second most is 68. 68. Patrick Mahomes, 64. Lamar Jackson, 63. He has 88. That's wild. His passer rating under pressure, 104. Lamar Jackson, 94. Sam Darnold, 87. Pretty good, actually. Let's drop down. Where is Patrick Mahomes? 74. Jalen Hurts, 72. Josh Allen, 16. Joe Burrow, 104. And you're like, oh, hey, Tua's pretty high. Yeah, he is, but except he throws a full yard less yards per attempt. And remember, yards per attempt really also, it's not average depth. Like it actually, you're going to benefit from things like yak and stuff from that, which we know Tua and the way how that offense is run is definitely on that. This is yards after catch per completion, okay? Look at all these other quarterbacks up here. You got Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tua, like I said. Joe Burrow is all the way at the bottom. 4.8. So when you see his yards per attempt, like, it's going to be a lot more accurate because he's not benefiting as much as from yak. So it's insanely impressive. Insanely impressive. And what's also pretty impressive with Joe Burrow is that he's top 12 in pressure to sack percentage in terms of the lowest. Lower the number, the better. It's how often do you take a sack compared to how much you're pressured? And of course, you have the really hypermobile quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They're going to take less sacks. Jordan Love, it's not his mobility. He just really spits the ball out very quickly, and he throws the ball away, et cetera, et cetera. And Joe Burrow, 19.4, which is all, Patrick Mahomes is 17, and yet he still is going to use a lot more, the mobility aspect of his game. Like it's all pretty good, again, considering the circumstances that he's dealt with. I mean, it would be totally forgivable, and you could even just be like, what are you going to do? That's his one drawback. If he took significantly more sacks and was lower or I guess higher on with a higher percentage, and he doesn't. So to me, that's also quite impressive, especially because he wants to make a play. He needs to make a play. You have certain quarterbacks who can kind of just get rid of the ball when they're pressured a lot, and so they won't take as much sacks, but it's just kind of like they don't need to make a big play. We know Joe Burrow has to make the big play. Like Jared Goff is top 7 in the pressure to sack percentage, and it's 16.5, top 7. But like you then see that he has 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and only 1,000 yards, relative to Joe Burrow, who's 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Like the amount that he's being asked, the types of plays that he's being asked to make in any given moment. Like I assume Joe Burrow is going to be at the top for big time throws under pressure, and he is. Yep. Josh Allen, number 1. Joe Burrow, number 2. They're tied for number 1, 17 and 17. That's exactly my point. Look at these other quarterbacks under pressure who I just said who just kind of throw the ball away. Yeah, they're at the bottom. Jordan Love is at the very bottom with 3 big time throws under pressure. Jared Goff has 4. So I just really kind of proved my point a bit. When they're under pressure, they're not looking to do anything special. They're like, we got to get rid of the ball. If it's not there, it's not there. Josh Allen's always trying to make a play. That's just his DNA. But Joe Burrow has to make a play. Like he his team doesn't have a chance, right? Like he has to. And I find that pretty impressive. And it's actually kind of crazy because when you look at turnover worthy percentage, so it's essentially the percentage of turnover worthy plays. The percent of attempts that are turnover worthy plays. And again, this is all under pressure. He is top 12. So the lower the number, the better. That's wildly impressive when you put this all in context where he's not trying to just take care of the ball. He's not in a position where he can just be conservative. He has to constantly push the ball down the field. He has to make big time throws. And yet he's still minimizing the turnover-worthy plays relative to all the times that he's under pressure. And he's now, comparable to the guys who we know are kind of just like, minimizing the big throws. The Jordan Love, Jared Goff, there's 3.4, 3.5, and then Joe Burrow, 3.6. Just insanely impressive. When you put it all together, it's very, very, very impressive. And so it's just like the man does not get as much love as he should, and it's because he's on a bad team, or he has been on a bad team, and it's unfortunate. And guys, I don't love to just go all in on the stats. I always try my best to offer context to the best of my abilities with around stats, and I definitely will lean in stats more during the off season because we have nothing to watch, right? We can't talk about these games right now. But this list is also based heavily on stats. The EPA, which right now is considered to be just the stat, right? That is the defining stat. Even Ben Johnson came out and said that he believes that's like the most important stat for quarterbacks more than anything else. And I'm not here to debate that. Quite frankly, I find it interesting. It's one of those stats that I think people struggle to truly understand, myself included. Like, I don't ever try to pretend like I'm able to put together conclusions on all of these stats, because it's hard. It's hard to always be able to make sense of what the numbers are saying. And I think Colin kind of did a pretty good job of summing that up, because it's like you're looking at this list and you're like, seriously, who would you rather have, Dak Prescott or Matthew Stafford? Like, we know that answer. We know that answer when you're trailing in the last 5 minutes. You're gonna throw Drew Lock in there, so it's you need to add context. You need to know, who are you playing when trailing in the last 5 minutes? What is your team asking you to do? Like, I don't know. What are the stakes involved? It's just that's something that stats often miss when you're looking at this. Who's on your team, etc., etc. But it's not nothing. It's not nothing. But like, I'd like to see, because when you're trailing in the last 5 minutes, Dak Prescott is notorious for feasting and getting the garbage points when he's trailing behind. Like that's what people have always made fun of him for, right? Where he's able to really juice up his box score. I mean, look no further than what he did against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. Like, he played awful in that game, but still ended up throwing for like 1,000,000 touchdowns, 1,000,000 yards, and you would just be like, oh, see, that's what he did when he was trailing, right? And it's just like, well, come on, man. Like, let's put this in context. I'd rather see, like, best QBs when trailing in the last 5 minutes, like when you're trailing 3 points. Not 7 points. Like, it should be within striking distance, not 10 points. Like 7 points or less, or 8 points or less. Like when they're truly, the game is truly in the balance. Like, that's what I would want to see more than anything. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Joe Burrow being number 1 most clutch quarterback when trailing in the last 5 minutes? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.